Hey everyone, welcome back to SuccessWithChris.com. I'm your host, Chris O'Neill of the internet's most successful blog. I heard a little thing from my son the other day, and he said he was playing a video game, and he said, "Dad, I'm going to win because of," and I said, "Why?" And he said, "Because I'm in first place." That is an attitude that will break you. You will guarantee to lose if you think you're going to win because you are currently first place. If you're in business, if you're in your family life, you have to be careful not to get complacent and decide that, I'm going to take it easy and relax because I'm in first place. Brings me back to the tortoise and the hare story, right? And I don't believe in that story because I don't think the slow and steady win. I think it's the fast and steady that win. But it is the steady. If you get complacent, if you get too set in your ways and not open to new ideas, then you're going to lose. I can promise you. You might get ahead very quickly, but you're not going to stay that way very long because there is that little edge that people get when they're not necessarily in first place at the moment. So the person in second place that's close behind you wants it even more than you do. I mean, I really a friend of mine used to always say, "Chris, it's the hungry that will survive and the hungry that will make it. It's the hungry people. Just be hungry like a wolf for everything that you're after." Okay? And that includes information. So always be hungry to improve yourself. Always be hungry for more, right? More excitement, more money, more happiness, all of that. Because if you're not growing, you're dying. There's only two ways. And if you just look at a plant, you'll know that, right? If they're not growing, then they are dying, and that's a guarantee. You have to make sure that you're always thirsty and hungry for more, because that little attitude of "I'm in first place now, I'm going to win the race" will not get you anywhere. You really, really do have to keep being hungry and being. You have to crave improvement. You have to really go after it. There's nothing in the world that will set you back more than being complacent and being kind of like, "Oh, I'm happy with where I am." I mean, there's a comfort zone there, and that comfort zone is very comfortable, but it's dangerous, right? It is very dangerous because you're not trying to get more. And you look at people every day and you say, "Well, I'm a good man. I make enough money. I have a, good enough life." Well, good enough is only good enough if that's the best you can do. And that means if you stop trying, you're not good enough. If you're making 50 grand a year, that's not good enough if you can make $1 million a year. If you're making $1 million a year, that's not good enough if you're capable of making $200 million a year. Right? It's just not good enough. You gotta get rid of that attitude of "it's not good enough." Brian Tracy drilled that into my head, and he said, "You know what? Good enough seldom is." And it's a very true statement. You have to go out there and you have to constantly and consistently want more for yourself every day and every night, because that's the only way you're going to grow. That's the only way you're going to stay at the top. And that's the only way you're not going to get bored. You're going to get very bored if you start saying, "Oh, yeah, it's good enough," and you sit down in front of the TV and you flick the channels all night, every night. I read an interesting stat the other day that it was everybody spends, or the average person spends 2.5 hours a day on the TV. That's equivalent to 40 full 24 hours a day every year. How much more could you do with your life if you got rid of your TV? 40 24-hour periods. That's over a month of time, no sleep at all, of TV that you watch every year. That's on average, right? So some of you more, me hopefully less, because I don't like watching TV that much. I used to love it. But then I found out if I just take that time and invest it in myself, my life changed a lot. And I loved it so much. So I really got complacent and I said, "Yeah, I'm making 50, 60 grand a year." I thought it was all right. No problem. Perfect. I have a great life, right? But then I figured out that I need to be thirsty. I need to start going after more because I felt that I was not getting the fulfillment that I wanted in life. So you really need to step it up, constantly learn and improve yourself. My name's Chris O'Neill. Don't sit back and relax. Get to work. I wish you the best of success. Have a wonderful day. Bye now.